Hey, this is Mark Smith from Digital Roughnecks, and I'm here with part 3 of our regulation and ESG series. Today, I'm going to be talking about the new federal regulations that are coming. So let me share with you what those are all about. So we have 3 that are coming up. They're moving through Congress as we speak. The Clean Energy Innovation and Deployment Act of 2021 that establishes electrical generators implement a Zero-Emission Electricity Credit, ZEEC, trading system in 2023. That will impact every single operator. HR 2801, the Methane Act of 2021, designed to reduce methane emissions by 90%. Another act very similar, 1492, Methane Waste Prevention Act, introduced by Dianne DeGette from Colorado, also designed to reduce methane emissions by 90%. So the current thing that EPA, that you all are impacted by, you got to do LDAR inspections for VOC gases every 6 months. Allows you to use an OGI camera or AVO inspection, find a leak, fix it within 30 days, requires periodic emissions inventory report. You all know, you all do this. What the Clean Energy Innovation and Deployment Act does. Okay, so electrical companies, they earn more ZEECs for buying cleaner sources of energy, wind, solar, but also for natural gas. The big idea is to show you can produce gas with methane intensity of 0.2%. EPA currently estimates operators are operating at 2 to 3%, so thus the 90% reduction in methane intensity. Operators are going to get paid more for cleaner energy from the electrical generator. They're going to have to offset with less ZEECs for cleaner energy, and they got to buy more ZEECs for buying less clean energy. Electrical generators will also get paid at 50% of the cost of shifting to cleaner energy sources. Okay. Now, HR 2801, I get a little detail here because, it directs the EPA to establish covered facilities. Well, if you're in Colorado, you're already covered. EPA, you're covered. ESG, unknown. OGMP 2.0 has all the facilities anyway. Okay, so if you're in one of these, you're pretty good shape. Directs EPA to establish methane intensity standards. Okay, that's new. There is VOCs covered in EPA, but essentially what we're doing here is we're saying, hey, now there's a performance standard. Okay, not just did you find methane or not. It is you got to reduce it by 90%. So that is new. Okay. Directs EPA to require owners and operators covered facilities to file their leaked LDAR reports. Done. You probably already do this. Okay. Directs EPA to establish requirement for emissions reporting. Done. I mean, if you're in EPA, it's every 6 months. If you're in Colorado, if on an existing pad, it's every month. If it's on a new pad, it's continuous. Okay. OGMP 2.0, they bump it up a notch by saying, hey, find at the source and the site level. I'm going to go on a limb here and say that OGMP 2.0 is something you should look at, because I think that will find its way a little bit into this new standard. Okay, directs EPA to set limits on routine flaring. Okay, so for the most part, ECDs are used in most states, except maybe the Permian. Bottom line is you're going to have burner managements and VRUs everywhere. Okay, this is brand new. Directs EPA to establish a tradable credit program for covered facilities. Okay, and again, we can get into how that tradable credit system might be used. You might be able to use it to earn credits for doing activities that reduce methane, and lose credits if you don't. Really, there isn't much. Europe and Canada have all experimented with carbon trading systems. There was one in Colorado for a little while, but anyway, this is relatively new. Directs EPA to coordinate various studies to advance knowledge about methane emission. So there are numerous things where groups come together to try to find new technology to reduce methane. There's one in Colorado, METHANE, which is managed by CSU. Obviously, there's the AIM system, the Alternative Instrument Method. You can apply within a state or at the EPA level. So there is a mechanism already to advance technology. Okay. Directs the EPA to establish a registry that tracks methane intensity along the supply chains. Okay, now we're getting here, right? Because ESG has this idea of a scope 1, 2, 3, like emission. So if you're an electrical generator, you're scope 1, you buy energy from scope 2 and you sell it to consumers, that's scope 3, right? So this idea of adding sort of these different levels along the supply chain. Okay, I'm going to tell you how I think this is going to be implemented, but definitely this idea of ZEECs would get to it as well. Okay, directs the EPA to establish robust procedures for ensuring accuracy, transparency of all the data. Okay, well, there's certain thing like LDAR reporting, but I do think what this will do is up the ante on the amount of data and the where you get it from in your emissions inventory. Okay. And but good news is I do think emissions inventories will start to come together so that if you put one together, it might work for your state, for EPA, for ESG, for OGMP 2.0. I think it's going to come together. And I think that'd be a really good thing, but it's going to have to have hard data in it. Provide that once EPA promulgates the methane standards, that the EPA may not also enforce the Clean Air Act. I don't think that will make it. The whole idea is not to double regulate or have conflicting regulations, but I think this new act will end up adding stuff, not taking anything away. Establishes performance-based regulatory on super emitters. So I do see the Colorado type regulations around tank engine flares, load out emissions. I do think that will end up being pushed nationwide. Okay. Standardized framework for measuring, reporting, and verifying methane emissions from oil and gas to better align with the EU. Okay. OGMP 2.0. So I do think that some of those level 5 OGMP 2.0 will end up being in some way aligned with the new EPA standard. So let me summarize it here for you. HR 1492 will probably fold into HR 2801. So really it's 2801 you want to pay attention to. Both Clean Air Innovation and HR 2801 will be implemented by the EPA. So it's federal wide. For those of you who don't have burner management units, you're going to have them. Does not appear to increase frequency of LDAR inspections. However, there will be a performance-based criteria to prove reductions of 90% methane intensity in the production of oil and gas. So it's not going to be just enough to say, hey, I found a leak and fix it. That's good. But you'll also have to show how you're reducing that. That'll be a performance-based standards. Now, this is the biggie. The Clean Energy Innovation Deployment Act will impact what electrical generators pay for your energy. So you'll need to continuously prove cleanness of your product. They're going to pay more for it, okay? And they pay more to you, but then they have to pay less for carbon offsets, ZEECs, so to speak. Both acts have a carbon trading system that could offset costs for implementing clean tech solutions that help you hit your net zero goals. So that is my quick summary of new federal legislation that is most likely going to go through this year and be implemented in the following years. So if you'd like to know more, some more links there, visit digitalroughnecks.com, and I'll have links to the other legislation there. And you can get it to cleanconnect.ai/digital-roughnecks. Click on the episode link, links to legislation, links to this presentation. Okay. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Digital Roughnecks.